Und damit ein herzliches Willkommen und hallo zu einem weiteren Let's Play ReFantazio. Ich bin jetzt zu einem Simafix. Beim letzten Mal sind wir hier aus der Höhle der Sandwürmer rausgekommen. Das war ein ganz schöner Eck, meine werten Freunde. Dabei haben wir hier auch unseren neuen Gefangenen, ach verdammt, der ist ja hier auf unserem schönen Schiff, Heismay getroffen. Der sollte ja verantwortlich sein dafür, die Kinder entführt zu haben, aber wir haben hier mitbekommen, dass das deutlich anders ist. Auch er hat ja einen Groll und selbst ein Kind verloren, weshalb wir mal annehmen, dass er nicht der Verbrecher ist, für den wir ihn hier gehalten haben. Das kommen also die Gerüchte, dass es bei einem Sandplatz sicher sei und damit ist die Falle bereits gestellt. Aber wie dem auch sei, Heismay ist in unser Gewahrsam. Die anderen bewachen ihn, also sollten wir uns aussuchen, solange wir können. Selbstverständlich wurden wir hier in die Falle gelockt, da wir auch diesen netten Menschen hier bekämpfen mussten. Das war natürlich auch alles andere als gut. Hast du irgendwelche neuen News? Nö, hast nicht. Passt schon. Dann würde ich mal sagen, ruhen wir uns aus und morgen will ich mal hier ein bisschen Klartext, denn das war definitiv keine coole Aktion. Der Krug ist leer, dann bringt es auch nichts mehr. Legen wir uns schlafen.
Good night.
Time marches on, and the age of a new king draws nearer.
I dreamed we were being chased around by a horde of giant sandworms. I barely got any rest at all. I hope Heismay behaved himself in the Gauntlet Runner. You should go check on him later. We also need to get some information out of Barden. But how do we even bring it up?
Are you awake? Barden just sent word. A few children disappeared in the night.
Wait, but Heismay's in the Gauntlet Runner, right? If he's still bound there, that basically proves he's innocent. But if he's not, we need to get to the runner, quick! Where's Stroll?
Speak, man. Are you alright? Where's Heismay? What happened here? Oh, he reeks of alcohol. Eurus, you old sot, don't tell me you drank yourself to sleep.
Heismay was blathering on about some things I found rather unnerving. So I had a little sup of the spirits to calm the nerves.
Wow, what a mess.
You witless... Maybe some cold water will wake you up, and if that water's not fixed yet, you're really in it! Ah!
Now, what's all the commotion?
Ah, that was it! He kept scaring me, so I stuffed him into the lavatory to shut him up.
He says that like it makes sense. Does it make sense to you?
Don't look at me.
Anyway, one thing's for sure. Heismay was tied up the whole time, so he never set foot outside, right?
What's all this about frightening Eurus? I cannot imagine you suddenly felt compelled to share ghost stories.
I heard some strange sounds last night. I could tell they were footsteps, but not any I recognized. If it had anything to do with the disappearance of the residents, it could prove my innocence. That's why I spoke up.
I don't think he's lying. With all that fog, I couldn't find the source of the footsteps, but I found plenty of something else. Children's shoes. It was after midnight. No time for children to be out and about. I had the shoes checked at the guard station, and it looks like they belong to the missing children.
Then 'tis likely those footsteps belong to your true culprit.
But the guard said no one left town last night.
Nobody left? But that must mean the culprit is...
Inside the town?
Logically, yes.
If that's the case, I'd like to talk to Barden, but how much of this should we share with him?
If you ask me, it's time to lay out all you know. Taking me with you might help your case, too.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. To bring you before the very man responsible for the bounty on your head. I trust I need not illustrate the risk.
Risk or not, the real culprit's likely one of their own. If you hide me, They'll accuse you of harboring a known criminal. You all had it right. It's time I faced reality. A life on the run leaves no room for me to truly mourn my son.
Heismay.
Whatever the case, let's meet with Barden.
Well, I must say I couldn't hope you'd capture him so swiftly.
Something wrong? You don't look well. Got a face like you've just stumbled upon a dead man.
No, it's nothing. Just surprised you caught him.
Aye, you have my thanks. Clearly we were right to trust you. You'll get your payment in full.
Before that, I want to ask you one question. Why was Heismay the only suspect in this case?
One of the guard witnessed him firsthand. Go on, Morris, tell him.
On the night of the kidnappings, I spotted a Ujif bolting into the wilderness. Several times. No mistaking a squat figure like that. I'm telling you, what are the chances of there being 2 Ujif brigands in the area?
What did you say?
Strange. I don't recall the kidnapper's tribe being listed on the bounty poster. Even the captain seemed surprised, yet you alone knew this.
He's obviously our culprit.
Most strange. Heismay was already in our custody yesterday. In other words, the kidnappings of last night cannot be his doing.
Is this true?
Captain, I'm one of yours, aren't I? You're not gonna trust this little red-eyed bastard over me, are you?
There's also the testimony from the guard at the gate. He reported no one coming or going from the city.
You scabby bounty hunters think you can mock the guard corps like this? Just take your damn blood money and get the hell out of here!
Fine, fine. Keep your hair on. We'll get to the bottom of this eventually.
Is there a problem here? Barden, may I interrupt?
No problem, ma'am.
Was that? Did you hear it, lad?
No, I didn't hear anything.
Now I see your game, you fiends.
What? He's gone!
Heismay!
Find him! Secure the exits! Don't let him escape!
No good. He's nowhere to be found. What's gotten into Heismay?
I got the impression he sensed something. If he'd meant to escape, he would have done it yesterday.
I think Barden's innocent in all this. The real scumbag here is Morris, his second in command. He framed Heismay with a false eyewitness testimony. Must have figured an exiled Ujif would be a perfect scapegoat.
So Morris, a would-be guard of the people, has been kidnapping the residents and selling them off.
Could be. And there's also those footsteps that old Heismay heard in the night.
Norris is bound to have sobered up by now, right? Let's see how things are outside and get back to the runner.
Are you coherent yet? I didn't take you as the sort to fall so hard into your cups.
Well, an icy bath like that would freshen anyone up.
And tell us again what happened last night. It may be our only clue to tracking down the real culprit.
Bloody hell. Yes, it's coming back a bit. It wasn't just Heismay's reports that shook me. No, I saw something. It was right after I slung Heismay into the bathroom. Out the window, I saw some massive shadow moving through the fog. It wasn't any beast or man of this world. It was a dark messenger, I tell you. A specter from the very bowels of hell. It was like the horrors of every fairy story from my schoolboy days sprung to Stygian life. I was shaken, chums. Shaken to my core. I cried out for help, grabbed for something to steady myself, and all I found was the bottle.
There, you're all right now.
Even if there is some monster behind this, how would it connect with Morris? I don't see why he would be compelled to hide this to the extent of framing Heismay.
True. Let's try investigating the lady's old castle. Heismay's bound to have a reason for bolting off like that.
Es hat keinen Zweck. Heismay wurde angeblich noch nicht gefunden. Daher kann die Blockade des Tors nicht aufgehoben werden. Anscheinend suchen sie überall nach ihm. Was haben wir dann für einen Plan? Sollen wir uns einfach reinschleichen? Hallo, hier drüben. Das klingt nach...
Evidently.
Es kommt von dort. Ruft er nach uns? Warum ist Heismay bei dir? Die Wache am Tor hat gesagt, dass er noch nicht gefunden wurde. Ich bin der Primus der Wache und der Wahrheit verpflichtet. Ich muss hier ermitteln und durchsetzen. Nur darum geht es. Der ganze Ärger hätte vermieden werden können, wenn sie mich einfach einen Kopf kürzer gemacht hätten. Sie sind schon seltsam. Warum sind sie plötzlich geflohen? Ich habe ganz genau aufgepasst, als Lady Johanna die Tür zum Zimmer öffnete, habe ich einen Kinderschrei gehört. Und Lady Johanna ist... Sie ist kinderlos. Was immer sie gehört haben, es kann nicht ihr Kind gewesen sein. Kein Kind könnte es sich unbemerkt in ein schwer bewachtes Schloss zu schleichen. Die Entführer müssen sich innerhalb dieser Mauern befinden. Ich wette, dieses Wesen Morris hat was damit zu tun. Er hat uns angelogen und versuchte, uns durch einen Menschen töten zu lassen. Morris, nein, das ist absurd. Ich kann nicht zulassen, dass noch mehr unschuldige Kinder entführt werden. Werden Sie mir helfen, das auszubeenden? Ich habe sonst niemanden. Aber sicher, wenn wir Ihren Kopf nicht mehr für den Wettkampf benutzen können, brauchen wir ohnehin einen Ersatz. Wir sind dabei, oder Maxi? Aber sicher. Ich stehe in Ihrer Schuld. Es erschien uns, dass keiner Führer die Opfer unter unseren Augen ins Schloss bringen konnte. Nicht, wenn wir aufpassen. Aber es gab einen alten irdischen Tunnel, von dem nicht mal die Schlosswachen etwas wussten. Und Heismay ist derjenige, der ihn entdeckt hat. Dort unten ist viel Platz, um Geiseln zu verstecken. Morris könnte auch davon gewusst haben. Genau unter dem Haus der Lady. Ganz schön dreist. Okay, an die Arbeit. Ihr dürft über die Brunnensackgasse am Ende der Fitibelgasse dorthin gelangen. Ich muss zurück auf meinen Posten. Ich zähle auf euch. Ein Brunnen, der zu einem unterirdischen Kanal führt. Mal viel wichtigere Frage. Kann Heismay sich jetzt uns endlich anschließen? Ich hätte gerne 4 Partymitglieder. Oh, ist es Dungeon-Zeit? Ich kann die 4. Kinder unter uns schreien hören. Wir müssen ihnen helfen. Ah, nö. Akademie bringt uns jetzt aktuell nichts. So. Jo, dann speichern wir doch einmal kurz. Wenn ich darf. Und dann hüpfen wir mal hier in die Höhlen. Das ist also der alte Brunnen, den Brandon erwähnt hat. Von hier aus sollten wir den unterirdischen Kanal gelangen können. Die 5. Kinder sollen hier drin sein. Seid ihr alle vorbereitet? Jo. Wir müssen die Kinder schnell retten. Er schließt sich uns doch noch nicht an. Oh, Leute, Mann. Aber hilft nichts. Also. Belohnungen einsacken. Und alles abschlachten, was uns hier in den Weg kommt.
Come on, get the bait moving already. If that thing goes out of control, we'll be dinner.
You can't run from us.
Please. Help.
The child yet lives.
Out of your jurisdiction now, aren't you? You're trespassers down here. And that means anything that happens to you is your own damn fault.
If you've got something to say it to our faces. Even you must feel the weight of what you've done.
Eyes up. Something stirs in the back.
Are these the monsters we heard about?
No. Further back. 'Tis the footsteps in the night.
The bigger that beast back there grew, the more its watchdogs started changing with it. One of them's gonna make Amelia.
What has been happening here? Why do you kidnap the residents?
Why? Because premium bait's worth a fortune. I couldn't live on the wages of a guardsman forever.
You kidnap children for money? You utter scum!
This from a bloody-eyed Eugene. Look to your own sins, sir. You were just stripped of your knighthood. You were exiled. You're a coward who's been living in the hole you deserve. Don't pretend you can play at justice now. You foil!
No, 'tis true in part. 'Tis why I stand here now. I ran from my past and turned away from my pain. You prey on innocent lives. Your sin will be repaid. Yet I cannot condemn you alone. Not when I could not see past my own suffering. Not when I locked myself away to be alone with my pain.
O lodestar, who falters in memory. O thou anguished traveler. Thy long stagnant stance hath finally been broken. Now choose thy path.
Choose? My choice is already made. You can't erase your past. All you can do is take it in hand and reshape your future.
Thank you. Thou hast chosen a noble parting. Henceforth, thy fears and insecurities are thy light. O lodestar, whose light reveals the king's own path, awaken.
I am Heismay Noctul. I believe the arc of life depends not upon birth. By these hands, soiled or sinless, I fight! Apologies, but I cannot do this alone.
Go! Rip them apart!
On guard! Morris, you will not escape me! Out of my way, fiends!
What's going on? He just started fighting with us. And even he awakened to his power.
Perchance 'tis through your influence that this power passed to him, Captain?
Oh, is this what Moore was talking about?
Young man, you seem the most adept with this magic. I will strike at your direction, if you might spare it. Rest assured, I once stood among the Shadow Guard, and the years have not dulled my edge.
Sag mal, Langfinger. Steht um gegen einen Gegenstand. Ja, selbstverständlich. Meins? Oh, das war noch nix. Das wollte ich selbstverständlich nicht. Warte mal. Warte mal. Oh, Leute, dieses Spiel ist ja mal das geilste ever. Die Musik! Zack! Ich bin übrigens mal hier einen Meter weiter hinter. Boom! Und jetzt Nachtschwert! So, unser Dieb ist ja mal zu cool, Mann. So, Dogo. Oh, süßer kleiner Dogo. Und was hast du noch? Oh, Instakill. Okay, kein Insta-Kill. Umso besser. Passt. Sehr schön. Und, Leute, es ist soweit. Wir haben unser 4. Teammitglied dabei.
Stop! Damn! The bastard got away!
But the children are safe.
Good. You saved them, Heismay.
You know that I used to have a child of my own. My son. He was killed. I could not even protect my own flesh and blood. Who could call me a knight? Since then, I've wondered what I had left to live for, and found few answers.
Is that why you lived in such a dangerous place? That you might be...
We need to chase down Morris first. He said something kind of weird back there, didn't he?
Regarding the watchdogs, he said they gradually turned more horrific the more the monster grew.
Do you think that's the effect of the melancholia? I expect anything further in will be even more malformed then.
But why root all this in the basement of the lady's own domain? Clearly, someone is invested in Morris's efforts. But who would finance this?
I can't say for certain. Still, from the very beginning, this has felt beyond the realm of any sane, moral person.
And to think this started as a simple bounty contract. We've set foot in something far bigger, I think.
Let's get these poor youngsters back to Baden for now.
Sure.
You saved the wee ones' lives. We can't thank you enough.
It was thanks to your help, too.
I know this is difficult to hear, but Morris had a hand in this the whole time. He confessed as much to us.
Aye. I found out the man's been struggling to pay off all manner of gambling debts. I'll round up the guard and search the whole bloody castle for him.
I'm sorry, but I'm afraid you'd be outmatched. However, it would be a great help to us if your guards could prevent anyone from leaving the grounds.
Considering everything, I can't help but think the Lady Joanna's got to be in on this somehow.
But the woman is a respected sanctoress. Besides which, she's the one who funded the initial request.
I'll tell you this. Hard as we've looked, we can't find a sniff of Lady Joanna herself.
We're here for our own reasons. Whoever we find down there, we're not going to stay up late. Any objections?
None for me. Do as you will, and I'll trust in Lady Joanna's innocence. Indeed, for all we know, the culprit may be holding her hostage.
I too have a score that needs settling. I cannot let these atrocities continue, especially not in my name. I believe in you.
Considering we're due in Oceania in a matter of days, we've little time to tarry here.
Our foes may be strong, but they're also trapped like rats in the basement. We'll use the old well to get in and out.
Boah, Leute, Mann. Also geht damit unser Abenteuer jetzt hier in dieser nicht allzu freundlichen Stadt erst richtig los. Und 3067. Du bist ja nur ein Jüngling, der lediglich den ersten Schritt gemacht hat. In der nächsten Zeit werden wir beurteilen, ob du wirklich wie es für unsere Macht bist. Also, zumindest rücken wir näher. Kurze Frage. Ich darf wahrscheinlich nirgendwo hin. Schade. Aber ist auch in Ordnung. Haben sie bis jetzt eigentlich auch hier? Nö, ist er nicht. Aber okay. Krug ist auch leer. Dann legen wir uns hin. Und unser Ziel ist nun klar.
Can't sleep, lad? As it happens, I'm a bit restless myself. That a novel there? Don't see many carrying those around. Bit of an odd question, but what's your real aim as a group?
To tell you the truth, we're a secret organization.
Really? Well, you're not very organized for an organization. In any case, suppose it's not my place to ask. Don't worry, lad. Just water. Back where I grew up, there was nobody like you lot. Just you chiefs. We've never been accepted by other tribes, and 'tis no mystery why. We're nocturnal, we look worlds apart, and there's so few of us. Not enough for any political sway. Our elders only ever thought of short-term alliances, loyalties changeable as the wind. We relied on their power, not ours, and resigned ourselves to that. Oh, I loathed it. Even as a child. I hadn't been cowed into considering myself lesser. I honed my skills, that the city's majority might accept me, and I'll not say it was fruitless. I was accepted into the knighthood of the royal capital. I felt like my fellows and strangers alike accepted me as an equal. Fool that I was. They never really wanted me among the true knights. Just in the Shadow Guard, where my deeds were dirtier and kept secret. Equal and lesser in the same breath. Ultimately, once my superiors realized I wouldn't abide their self-serving orders, they stripped me of the title I'd fought for. And little by little, I lost everything else. My son died. I'd failed to protect him. And despite everything I felt, I'd resigned myself to being powerless. Just like the damned elders I'd hated so much. But you know, you lot have helped me realize something. I'd thought for a long time that if I wanted to feel accepted, instead of being the eternal outsider, I'd need power, status, some mighty patron nobody could defy. I wasn't really looking to swear myself to some superior. I only wanted not to be alienated for who and what I am. I just needed allies. Friends.
Then from now on, we're friends.
A free spirit, are you? It'll be my pleasure, then.
The aloof hermit, Heismay. Within him dwells the virtue of the thief. Nurture thy bond with him, and a new power yet slumbering within thee may awaken.
Perhaps our fates are bound somehow. If my boy was still alive, he'd be about your age. Though he'd look absolutely nothing like you, of course. Long as we're both awake, might I have a look at that old novel of yours? So, this is a fantasy novel. This section seems to describe the Utopia's approach to discrimination. Let's see here. In this world, discrimination and inequality are forbidden by law. It is a sin to impose injustice due to one's appearance, lineage, or birth. This is the accord established between the people and the state. Well, well. What a world that would be. I don't imagine our land will get there for another century or 5. Still, I cannot help but wonder whether those ideals would please an entire population. You cannot pretend at diversity without acknowledging individual differences. Some will be judged as strong, while others marked as weak. Equal competition doesn't mean equal footing. Their very aims of freedom and balance could spell doom for the striving weak. I wonder how we might ever achieve a true utopia. where everyone could be happy. If this awakened power is meant to be wielded in service of my beliefs, then, no matter who calls it naive or foolish, I will always use it to save the weak.
Time marches on, and the age of a new king draws nearer.
Ausgezeichnet, wir sind vollzählig. Heute erkunden wir die Tiefen unter der Burg. Sei vorsichtig, denn wir haben sowohl mit Morris als auch mit Monstern zu kämpfen. Wenn du glaubst, dass wir noch nicht zurechtkommen können, werden wir uns zunächst woanders verbessern. Wir haben prinzipiell noch Zeit, um uns vorzubereiten. Tatsächlich können wir diese neuen Kräfte gerade, habe ich diese neuen Kräfte gerade erst kennengelernt. Unabhängig davon überlasse ich dir die Entscheidung, Primus. So, also wir werden jetzt wieder ein Ablaufdatum bekommen, denke ich mal, bis wann wir das erledigt haben müssen. Der 16.07. Und das heißt, wir haben noch 12 Tage, in denen wir uns hier noch umschauen müssen. Aber ich würde sagen, wir kümmern uns erstmal um ein paar andere Sachen. Denn es gibt da genügend zu tun. Dann machen wir jetzt erstmal einen kleinen Cut. Beim nächsten Mal geht's weiter. Ich sage vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen und bis zum nächsten Mal. Ciao.